So I'm using my 2.5 needles, and I have to say I very gladly work with these. And when we get to additions, then we will be switching to our longer ones. So these are out of my needle collection, and I always recommend having your needles neat and tidy so you never have to look for the whole set and you always know where they are. So anyway, let's start with the shorter needles. So I will do 56 stitches divided by 4 is 14 stitches on each needle, and that's why I'll calculate per my needle length. So 15 stitches, which means we need 4 times the length of our needle, and since my needle is 20 centimeters long, that's 80 centimeters total, and then I'll do 14 stitches per each needle. Four, 8, 12, 13, 14, 10, take the next needle and again do 14 stitches. Ten, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then the third needle. $14 and the last needle incoming. $8, $10, $14, and now we go back to the first needle. And hold it and take care that this edge that the bottom stitch is filled. Here they are all looking to the inside. That's how I know I didn't twist anything I shouldn't have. Then 1 knit stitch, 2 purl stitches, and 1 knit stitch. And you keep repeating 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit. So always 2 knit and 2 purl. One knit I have, then 2 more, then 2 purl, and then 2 knit. And the first needle is already done. Now I'll simply move on to the next needle. and just keep doing 2 knit, 2 purl stitches. You'll get a really nice pattern as a result. And we keep going. And I'm doing socks from the point or from the toes in another video, so feel free to check that out as well if you're looking for that version. So whichever version you choose, so if you want to start your sock from the top or from the toes, it doesn't really matter. It's the same thing, just reversed. So what you're starting with would be what you're ending with in the different version. So whichever you find easier or whichever you find prettier, although the end result should look the same. So I'm now showing you how your top part would look after you finish the sole section of your sock. First round is done. I'm at the beginning again, and I'll simply continue the stitches as they come. So if they were knit stitches, we would again do a knit stitch, and if it was purl, we would again do the purl stitch. And we do this before we begin with our actual pattern. We always start this way. And you can apply this to pretty much any pattern as your start and your beginning. So this is just one way to decorate your socks. Of course, this is one of the simpler ones. If you're looking for something a bit more challenging or complicated, you can also find that in one of my videos. So feel free to check out the channel and find what you like. And you keep working like this until you get the desired length. I'm doing 8 centimeters for regular socks and less for sneaker socks or similar, so for sport socks. I'll do this for a couple of more rows, and then I will show you what I have and how we proceed. So I'll see you in a little bit. Now I'll show you how you can do such a pattern. So you can imagine that after this pattern we started with, but let's measure really quick. Six centimeters in my case, so this was what we did a moment ago, 2 purl and 2 knit. And now I'll show you how you can start with this pattern after the beginning section. So So here is the section that I'm showing you, and we will now work this next row as our first row so that you later know if you decide to do this project, you can always rewind the video and always know where we are at. I think this simplifies your work a lot because you don't have to watch the video from the beginning every time. I'll start with 1 knit stitch and 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle, and I'll repeat that. One knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. One knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. 1 knit, 2 purl and 1 extra purl this time and yarn over the needle. 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over the needle. Then comes the second round. We are doing 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit and yarn over. Is also gonna be our knit stitch. 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit and yarn over is also a knit stitch. I won't keep counting, but you'll still just do the stitches as they come. So purl is purl, knit is knit, yarn is knit stitch. It's a nice pattern at the end, not too aggressive, but still very pretty. And I also love the colors that we are using. So in your case, feel free to choose a really nice color that you're gonna like in the end. So this is the 4th needle, and then we're done with the 2nd row. Okay, 3rd row, so we are doing 1 knit stitch, 2 purl and 1 slip stitch over. So for that, take the 1st stitch and cast off. do the next knitwise and the following goes over it. And repeat. 1 knit, 2 purl, and 1 slip stitch over. So the stitch that came from the yarn over a knit stitch and then the following stitch over it. One knit, 1 purl, and slip stitch over. So the yarn over we are actually doing the lesson again, since in the second row we had 4 stitches because of the yarn over in the last round. So now the slip stitch over we are actually lessening and returning to our regular 3 stitches. And then we are again at 14 stitches per needle. Needle 4, so after we finish this, we end round 3. There we go. Now we do round 4. Now here we start again with 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit. So round number 4 we are doing just like what we started with. Now comes round 5. Here we are again doing yarn over the needle, but this time with a variation. So in this row we are starting with a yarn over the needle right away, then 1 knit stitch, 2 purl, 1 knit, and then another yarn over, and you just keep on going. So just don't forget the yarn over, and that's the whole deal. Same thing as always, 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit, and the yarn over. Yarn over, 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit, yarn over, and again. Yarn over, 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit, yarn over, 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit, yarn over, 1 knit, 2 purl, 1 knit stitch, Okay, so round 6 we are doing the yarn over stitches and knit stitch, and the others just as they come. So purl goes purl again and knit goes knit again. So we started with the yarn over, and if you remember, we ended with yarn over in the first row. And the pattern consists of 8 rows. We are currently finishing row 6. The last needle in this row. So we will now lessen the additions so that we can again have 14 stitches on the needle. Seventh round, so let's start with doing 2 stitches together. So this is why the yarn over had to be before the actual stitches, so that we don't have to do the lessening when we change needles. This way it's a lot easier. And after that you do as you always did, 2 purl and 1 knit stitch. Then again do 2 knits together, 2 purl and 1 knit. Two knits together, 2 purl, 1 knit. Two knits together, 2 purl, 1 knit. 2 knits together, 2 purl, 1 knit. Two knits together, 2 purl, 1 knit. 2 knits together, 2 purl, 1 knit. 2 knits together, 2 purl, 1 knit. Two knits together, 2 purl, 1 knit. Two knits together, 2 purl, 1 knit. Row 8. And now again, the base pattern, 1 knit, 2 purl, and 1 knit. One knit, 2 purl, and 1 knit. So we are again doing 2, 2. 2 knit and 2 purl. So this is what we started with and what we've been just altering throughout the rows. This last round ends with you ending in as many rows as you like in just the base pattern, or you can keep repeating the 8 rows depending on the length that you want. Just make sure you don't end the pattern when you do additions so it doesn't look weird. So you need 56 stitches on all needles, which is 14 stitches per needle. Row 8 is done. And now I'd like to show you the sock. This one I started from the toes. And here we are now where you align these two, you would actually get one sock. So here we started from the toes and here from the top and the yellow piece. And now I'll show you how you can continue. It's pretty much the same whether it's the one or the other direction, but after you do the heel part, you need to do 6 more rounds knitwise, and the 6 rounds I'll now simply continue. When I say continue, I of course mean continue on my yellow piece. So when I reach the length that I want, and only after the 6 rows, I will start with the additions for the heel. So first off, 6 rounds we need to do in simple stitch. So 6 rounds later, now we will continue the same way for the heel. So we are starting the additions to get the shape that we want. So I'll do that in part 2, and feel free to stay tuned for part 2 because then we will be, well, yeah, continuing with our sock. So that's where I'm going to show you how you can get the rest of it as well. I'll show you how to do additions for the sole. So that would be our next step, and the great thing is that this section as well is really easy to do, so there's going to be nothing new pretty much. I'll show you the same one more time, and then how you can actually get a whole sock in the end. Also, the 56 stitches that we simply started with, we will simply continue with. So stay tuned for part 2. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to shoot a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can always stay updated with everything that I do.